I think something people don't talk about enough is validation. More specifically, external validation. The feeling that all or most of your self-worth comes from the opinion that someone else has formed about you. A lot of times, the need for external validation comes from things that happen when we're young. So maybe your parents were the type to tell you that you didn't know what you were talking about because you're a kid. So as a result, you never really got to speak your mind growing up. Other times, maybe you were bullied. So as a result, you ended up thinking that you were worth less than the next person. Other times, it comes from getting too much attention before we're ready for it. So maybe you got too many followers on social media, and as a result, it just made your ego explode. When it comes to things like self-worth, you'll find that a lot of people rely on external sources of approval to validate the things that they say and do. Hey, what's up? It's Royal, and today I want to talk about validation. Early on in my spiritual journey, my self-confidence was really low. I was the type to let anything anybody said bother me. It's real soft skin, whole deal. My life up to that point had been completely motivated by trying to please other people. But I was in a position where I understood that there was a problem, but I didn't know how to fix it. I've come to believe that information finds you once you're open and ready to receive it. And I don't remember how, but a video popped into my feed one day. It might have been a live stream. But it really helped me. And the crazy thing about it is what helped me was said in passing. It wasn't even what the video itself was about. In the video, the person said that they called themselves a god, and because they called themselves that, they felt like that. So you know what I started doing? I started calling myself a god. See, now if I would have heard that when I was Christian, I probably would have been like, yeah, that nigga going to hell. But it was something about the fact that I had my whole reality shattered, which is a video in and of itself. But yeah, that made me pretty receptive to new information, just like having that entire change of perspective. So I started doing affirmations. It didn't matter if I was losing an argument. It didn't matter if I was waking up in the morning. It didn't matter if somebody called me ugly or started treating me a certain type of way. It did not matter. All the same, I was chanting in my head, I am a god. I am the generator, organizer, and dispenser of my reality. I am a god. I am conscious and aware of myself and my reality. Like all these different things. And it wasn't immediate, but after a while, I started to notice that I had the drive to do things that I wouldn't have done before. Like now it felt like I had the tools to put to use what I already knew. Right? The anxiety was gone. It was kind of like now I could have conversation with people and talk about things that I actually enjoyed because I knew how to bring them up in conversation. It was like now I could be myself and I didn't have to worry about conforming my opinion to what I thought other people would approve of because I realized that it never mattered. And I guess just a quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that you have to call yourself a god. Do what works for you. But I will say personally that my life has only improved since I stopped waiting for Jesus to come and fix all the problems in my life. Regardless, I said all that to say this. A lot of things in this world are going to not only test your self-confidence, but they're also going to test your consistency in knowing yourself. And the second that you forget that no one's opinion or approval of you means anything, you've already defeated yourself because there's never a situation where you should give someone that type of power over you. But while we're on the topic, we should talk about self-validation and understanding criticism. Because, yes, you can acknowledge that you have God consciousness as much as you want, but you are still human and you can still make mistakes. I would argue that most people on average can't handle any type of criticism, good or bad. They think that it comes from this place of maliciousness, but really, criticism is a lot like stress. It's about how you use it that determines the effect that it has on you. There are studies that show that when you view stress as a bad thing, it does bad things to you. But if you view stress as more of like a building block, or if you view stress as more of like a stepping stone, then it can actually positively impact your life. Criticism is very much like that in the way that when you view it as a bad thing, you miss out on the opportunities that it gives you to grow. Like, for example, if someone showed me their song, I'm not going to tell you your song is hard if it's not hard, and I would expect you to do the same for me. I'm just not built like that. But I know people who I've told them what they could have did different on their song, like maybe the beat was fire but the lyrics wasn't there, or the hook was bad. And then they'll get mad at me or offended as if I'm not just trying to help them be great. And I understand why people take criticism badly, because I also used to be one of those people. But people have to understand that every bit of criticism that you get, you can learn something from to be better. Now, that's not to say that there's no bad criticism. Sometimes you just have hating ass niggas ringing your line, and you need to be able to differentiate between the two. But even in hate, there's usually some truth. So again, it's how you apply it. So I guess if there was a takeaway from this video, it's that you should never live for other people's approval. And when you understand how powerful self-confidence is, you stop worrying about things like likes on social media, what this person's saying about you, what that person's saying about you, because you'll realize that it doesn't matter, and it never did. You told yourself it did. So stand in your truth and be bold, because at the end of the day, if everybody else doesn't agree with you, at least you could say you stood up for what you believed in. Not everybody can. And the great thing about people disagreeing with you is that everything exists in opposites, in polarity. So if there are people who hate you, there are also people who will love you. If there are people who love you, there will be people who hate you. It's just a rule of life. I think that's all I got. I hope this helped someone. Like, comment, subscribe. I want to get my video catalog up so that I have more than 2 videos to put in my end cards, but my last video should be somewhere around there. Check it out if you want. You might like it. But yeah, that's about it. Peace and light, family. Stay powerful. Bye, y'all. I'm out.